Everybody list you Darren Carter. We all know that he's the party starter. So if you want to list your podcast for free, listen to our Pocket Party. Pocket Party.
Oh yeah, baby. So let's start that party in your ear holes.
Oh, and we're back. That's right. Welcome to the party. Starting that party in your ear holes. That's right, guys. I want to thank you guys. This is a nice community. We can hang out together in our cars, on treadmills, wherever you're listening to this podcast. That's right. It's so cool, man. It's contest time. So that's the theme song. That's my son. His name is Austin. He plays piano and he creates little songs around the house and plays stuff he hears on the radio, and it's pretty cool. He'll surprise us. He'll be in his room and he'll come up with something on one keyboard, and then he's like, "I'm not ready yet," and then he'll come into the main room and where we keep his piano, and he's like, "Mom, Dad, check it out," and he'll start playing, and we're like, "Whoa, it's so cool." I took him to Guitar Center a couple of weeks ago, and that was a blast, just letting him jam on these different pianos and keyboards, and then you look at the price and you're like, oh, $30,000. Let's not let's go to this one over here. Hey son, learn to play a kazoo. So we're having a contest. Here's what we're gonna do, guys. By the way, everybody wins. All you got to do is submit a song. What we're gonna do is this: do a cover of what my son wrote and composed, the Pocket Party theme song. Do a cover of it. And also, if you'd like, send an original, and I'll play both of them. All right? So just do a cover of what he did in your own version, your own style, and an original, and that way I can promote you or your band. If you don't play an instrument or you're not in a band, if you know someone that does and they would like some free publicity, it'll help us both out. Because I would love to I'd love to hear what you guys come up with. Because when I put this message out there. And I got contacted by a Nashville musician. His name is Curtis Marsh. And you can find him on all social media at Curtis Marsh Music. And what you do is you submit to my email at pocketpartypodcast@gmail.com. Pocketpartypodcast@gmail.com. And let me make sure I did that right. I'm pretty sure I did. Pocketpartypodcast@gmail.com. Yes, that's it. Pocketpartypodcast@gmail.com. If you or a band that you know wants to get publicity, I'll play them. I'll play their original, and I'll post everything in the links on YouTube. I'll say, hey, follow them here, check them out here. That way we can get them some publicity. So Curtis Marsh Music did a cover of it, and here it is right here.
Everybody listen to Darren Carter. We all know he's the party starter. So if you want to listen to a podcast for free, then listen to the Pocket Party.
Wasn't that cool? When my son heard that, he was like, whoa. And then he went over to the piano and started playing. He started doing a cover of Curtis Marsh Music's version, and it was hilarious. I want to get like a hip-hop version. A rapper out of Kansas City. Now, I knew him as Big Fluff Nico Lantern. I think he changed his name, but he messaged me, and he's going to do like a hip-hop version of it. So that'll be coming in. But like I said, I will pretty much play everybody, and until it gets crazy. I'm sure if there's like 1,000 submissions, I couldn't do that. Or why not? Why couldn't I? Why couldn't I do it? There's no rules. I'll do like 5 podcasts in a row with just that cover. All right, big shout out right now to Luis Ramirez, Rems, Lee Meyerhofer. Anybody who leaves a comment on iTunes, because you know how it is, man. We need those comments and those 5 stars. That's how you get ranked up higher on iTunes. So please do that. Just it takes literally a minute of your time. You go to YouTube, leave a comment. Go to iTunes, leave a comment. It's great. It boosts everything up. Good news, I'm on Spotify now. The Pocket Party Podcast is on Spotify. How dope is that? That's cool. That way because who doesn't have Spotify? I mean, really, you just go Pocket Party Podcast, boom, I'm in there. Darren Carter, of course. Shout out to XO Mateo. XO Mateo, thank you for retweeting. Every time I post something, a link or whatever for the podcast. He retweets. So does Miguel. Where are you, Miguel? I just wrote your name down. Miguel Romero. Big shout out. Marcelo's Good Old Fashioned Video Games. Awesome comments on YouTube. Thank you. Tommy Boy Live. The one and only Tommy Boy Live. Sam Tripoli, of course, you're the man, a.k.a. Ronan. You're good. Remy Valencia. Reggie Zapata. Love the comments. Love it. Mike Bagak. You're always there. D_Ghost Rider in the house. Jim Bryan Music. What would I do without you? Thank you, Jim Bryan Music. Kind words. And I think you're going to send in a song. I think you said you're in the music game, too. All right. So today's guest is amazing. What can I say? He's awesome. Whenever I go to the boxing gym, and if he's there and he's training somebody, the guy lights up the gym, and he's got a personality like none other. And you guys are going to get to know him today. And this is just man, talk about winning. This dude cannot lose. It was like, look up his record. It's just like 80 fights, and it's just like win, and just kept going. It was like, wow. I mean, how many of us have won like that in real life? Like, I mean, geez. I mean, imagine if like every time you were to be attracted to a girl and you hit on her and you just win. I mean, just, man, wow. Like, anyways, you're going to, I really hope you enjoy it. And I'm learning new things with this podcast. It's pretty cool. I've learned to boost the sound. Some people were complaining. They were like, yeah, I couldn't hear the call-ins. But I'm trying to, we're trying to figure this out together. And I'm open up to if you have any like suggestions, and you try this, or I like that, or whatever. I'm into that. You can I'm into feedback. pocketpartypodcast@gmail.com. And we're on this journey together. Like I said, I'm putting up YouTube videos every week. I'm putting up, depends on what week it is. Sometimes I'll put up 1, sometimes I'll put up 3. But go there. There's a catalog of stuff for you guys to check out on YouTube. If you like my comedy albums, I have 4 albums. And that's a way to help donate to the podcast and get something out of it as well. That Ginger's Crazy, Stay at Home Stripper, Shady Side, and the new one is called The Party Continues. Those are the 4 albums that I have out there now. I'm in Reno, probably when you're hearing this. I'm there this week. And July 26th to the 29th, I'll be at the Orlando Improv. Once again, you guys are great. Enjoy the podcast. Thank you for the feedback. Every comment, every like, every subscribe, everybody you tell, it helps. So thank you. Now let's get that party started. And we're here, a guest I've been wanting to get for a long time. If you heard that bell, you know where I'm at. I'm at the boxing gym. I'm with the very, very famous, popular, one of the best guys I know when I go to the boxing gym. It lights up the world. He lights up the gym. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Buddy McGirt. How are you, buddy?
All right, Darren, how you doing?
I'm good. Dude, I'm nervous because I'm a comedian, and I just like to talk to people and ask stories and joke with people. And I was like, man, what if someone's like, I listened to that boxing podcast, and you didn't mention what happened in the 3rd round of his 7th fight. And I'm like, dude, I don't. Even though I Googled and I went on BoxRec,
Right.
I like to know the man, Buddy McGirt,
All right.
And we'll talk boxing, of course.
All right.
One of the things that tripped me out, well, besides, we'll get to that, some of the great stories that I've heard you say in the gym so many times. For those of you that don't know, he's 2-time world champ. Buddy McGirt fought from 1982 to 1997, had 80 bouts, and this really tripped me out. Your first fight was a draw.
Yes.
First fight was a draw. And from that, you went on to there was so much green. In the green column, it was like win, 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 win. It kept going win, win, win. I lost count. Win, win, 10, 12, 14, 18, 20.
I had 28 straight wins.
It looked like it was 28 straight wins. And it's like, what was that? Now, that was incredible. Then you had a loss. And then you had 10 more wins. Then you had a loss. And then you went win, 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 win. It was like, there was 21 more wins. And it just, people, and I was thinking in life, people don't win that much. Just in life, whatever they do, I have never gone that many shows in a row where as a comic, where I'm like, I won. I'll have an off night.
Right.
That was just, that's an incredible record. And And I thank you for being on the podcast.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate
I
it.
feel like we're wrapping up right now, but let's all right. We'll get into some of that later. But I want to start with, how did you start? Like in the very beginning, like how did it even cross your mind to get into the boxing world?
Well, I've always wanted to do something as a kid growing up.
Yeah.
In New York. I grew up in Brentwood, Long Island, and I just wanted to do something with my life. I thought sports was the way.
Yeah.
I was too small for football, too short for basketball. And then one day I was in the gym, and I was in my neighborhood, we had a place called the Brentwood Recreation Center, where they had basketball, ping pong, weightlifting, and they had boxing. But boxing was only for professionals. They had no amateur boxing at this program. And I used to sit there and watch the guys boxing. And they said, if you can join boxing next week, we're going to have kids boxing starting next week, but you got to be 12 years old. I said, okay, what day next week? They said Saturday, January 17th. Well, that was my 12th birthday.
Wow. It was like the universe was telling you, happy birthday to you. That's awesome. Because, like sometimes when you're a kid, you just can't wait to be like a certain age. And you were like, oh, I just got to wait till next week. All right, cool.
Yes, I waited there. Yeah. But to me, it was a long week.
Yeah.
Because I really fell in love with the boxing. But that morning, I was raised Catholic. So that morning I had to go to religion. And my mother says, you got to go to religion first. After that, I don't care if you join boxing. And it worked out for me because religion was over at 10:30. Boxing started at 11. But I had to walk from the church to the boxing gym, which was no problem. I ran there.
In your church shoes.
Yes, exactly. So, I joined. My first coach, his name was Gene Moore. And there was about 15 of us kids there. And 2 weeks later, it was like maybe 3 left.
Wow.
And then I had my first fight, February 21st, 1976.
Okay, I'm bad at the math. So you turned 12, and then
I fought a month later.
A month later, a real fight, like a boxing. I mean,
my first amateur fight.
First amateur fight.
I fought a kid named Ricky Randazzo. Wow. And it was a draw. Same as my first pro fight.
What the hell? Wow.
It was a draw. Back then in the amateurs, you can have a draw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they didn't have all these AA rules and all that, So, but I fought a kid named Ricky Randazzo. He was from Center Reach, Long Island. And he was a little older than me. And that was my first experience. And it's been great ever since.
And you'd sparred leading, I'm sure, right? Leading up to that.
I sparred with Ricky Randazzo, as a matter of fact.
That first fight?
Yes.
John, I got a question. Can I turn this clock off? Okay. You guys get the idea. There's a thing every 3 minutes. Or just at once? Okay, cool. It'll be off. Otherwise, ding, ding, ding. People will be checking their phones when they listen to this. So, wow, your first... I can't even imagine. Like, I remember when I joined the boxing gym. Well, first of all, I'm a grown guy, like way too old for this. But I remember like Coach Ward, Stan Ward, the second week I was there, he goes, okay, today we're going to do a trust exercise. And he put the headgear on me, and for some reason I thought he wanted me to cross my arms and fall backwards into his arms, like, okay, I trust you, coach. But he's like, get up in that ring, and that was the second week, but he just wanted he just wanted me to see what it felt like, and there was a guy who was experienced, I don't remember who it was, but wasn't going to hurt me. He was just going to try to hit me and just want to see how I'd react.
Right.
And that was like, I was like hyperventilating, I got dizzy, and like the whole time I'm just trying to like get in a circle and get away from the guy, and I was so uncomfortable and awkward. And then I remember, like, I looked at the clock, and there was still 30 seconds left, and Coach Ward was like, time flies when you're having fun. And I was like, this isn't that fun. But as a kid, I guess it's maybe different or something, because you didn't panic like that first time you got into the amateur fight?
I was pretty nervous, but all my friends from the neighborhood were there, and
oh shit,
you know what I mean? Yeah. It was... And it was up, like with the boxing where I was at the recreation center was downstairs. Upstairs was the basketball where everyone in the neighborhood played basketball.
Yeah.
And that's where the fights were. So half the neighborhood was there. So I'm like, I can't lose. I can't.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, you can't freak out and be like, not today. I got to use the bathroom.
But I was excited. I went home with my hand wraps on and everything.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's good. See, but you're a winner. You win. I mean, I look at your record. It's like, I mean, it's amazing. Like, okay, so how many amateur fights did you have?
I had 63 amateur fights.
63.
I won 54, 8 losses, 1 draw.
And was it those last couple of like amateur fights where you were like, okay, I think I'm ready, and then let me just get one more fight? Was it that kind of?
No, I wanted to go for the '84 Olympics, but boxing,
That was
the
in LA.
amateurs,
Yeah.
has always been political.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was in 1982. I was 18 years old. I was in high school, and I thought, and if I turn pro, I can make a whole lot of money. Then my girlfriend at the time told me she was pregnant. My father had just passed away, and my mother said, well, you got to make some money to take care of that baby. She said, because I'm not taking care of it. So I figured if I turn pro, I'd make a whole lot of money right away. Wrong answer.
Hey, it's like being a comic. I'm like,
Hey.
unless you call $25 a whole lot of money.
My first fight, I got
into-
$200 my first pro fight.
Wow. That's
It was on a Tuesday night, and by Thursday I was broke.
Wow. Yeah, at least in comedy we get drink tickets. Hey, here's your carnival drink tickets and some chicken,
Right.
chicken wings, whatever. But wow. So the first fight was that a trip when you went from like, okay, wearing headgear and a shirt to like no shirt,
It was
headgear.
I'm gonna tell you how funny this is. I get to the show, to the pro show, and it was in New Jersey. It was in the Embassy Hall in North Bergen, New Jersey, March 2nd, 1982. I went to high school. I was in high school. I went to school that day. After my manager picked me up, boom, we drive to North Bergen to the fight. And I got my mouthpiece, and I had a little jock strap from when I played Little League football. So I thought I can use that in the pros. So when I got in the ring, the guy says, you ever want a cup? I says, yeah. And he's like, well, where the hell is it? I said, I got it on right here. He goes, no, sir. He goes, you're in the pros now. So I had to get out of the ring and borrow a cup from somebody.
Oh man, you know what? At that point, you're like, see, that's. You're like, this one's too small. Give me another one. This one's too small. It's like the Three Little Bears.
Yes.
This one's just
so
right.
they gave me a cup. And matter of fact, God bless, he's passed away now. I was a fighter by the name of Jimmy Dupree, who was a light heavyweight contender in the 60s and 70s. He had a few guys on the show. He lent me a cup. I mean, he goes, "Hey, young man, you can use this," but I won it right after the fight.
Wow. He's like, I know eBay hasn't been invented yet, but I'm gonna have you sign this when you become 2-time world champ. Wow. I think I would have just let the person keep the cup. I would have been like, it's all yours, man.
Yeah, so I gave it back, and I was excited. I got a draw.
That's cool.
I fought the hometown favorite, but I was excited.
Wow. Hometown favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I want to back up a little bit. I heard you tell a story one time in the gym about your family and your mother was a single mother and raising the children and you had a brother.
Yes.
You had a brother, and I mean he sounds like he's a tough guy.
Yeah, he's deceased now, but he was a no nonsense guy of the family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he had certain rules. Not only did my mother have certain rules, he had certain rules. But the biggest thing with him and me is that he felt in his heart, he just knew I was going to be a world champion. So he always did everything to keep me on the right track. So all his friends in the neighborhood, they knew if they saw me hanging out in a certain part of town where I had no business hanging out, they would ask me, does your brother know you're here? My brother's name was Michael, by the way. And I says, your brother Mike know you're here? And I was like, no. They says, well, you got 5 minutes to get out of here. Because if you're still here in 5 minutes, we're going to let him know. Then I'd leave. If he saw me hanging out on the corner, we had a store, it was still there in my neighborhood. It was called the La Placita. It's where everybody hung out. Everybody, drug dealers, the pimps, everybody hung out at the Placita. And, in the summertime, you with your friends, you're on your little Huffy bike and you want to hang out. And my brother would walk up to me and say, listen, are you getting anything out the store? I'd be like, no. You got a minute. You got to go. If I catch you here when I come back, you know what time it is. And I'd leave because I knew if I was still there when he got back, it wasn't going to be a pretty picture.
He was how much older was he than you?
He was 7. No, wait a minute.
7 years older.
No.
Yeah.
6. 6 years older than me. Yes, 6 years older than me. Yeah.
Wow. Did he was he pretty tough on you on the family?
He was tough on everybody in the house.
Tough. Wow.
But he didn't take no crap from anybody. You know what I mean? And he wasn't the oldest. We had an older brother, but you'd have thought my brother Mike was the oldest because he was the man in the house. Him and my brother Tyrone, they would have been in the house. But Mikey, when it came to the street stuff, he took care of it. You know what I mean? If there's problems in the street, Mike handled it.
Did you ever get to a point where you're like, okay, I'm pretty good at boxing. Like if he, I'm not going to leave when he says leave. I'm going to test him.
No.
You just knew.
He always said to me, he goes, before I let any of my brothers beat me, I kill them first. So we said we're not going to take that chance. We're just going to leave it alone.
Yeah.
But you just knew when to stay out of his way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And as I got older, I was the only one that can talk to him and control him. When he used to get mad and I can talk to him. Me and my mom was the only two that can talk to him. You know what I mean? You have to make eye contact with him. And then you make eye contact and then he'll listen to you. But at the same time, he's watching everybody around him. But that's just how Mike was. He was something else, man. But I thank God I had a brother like that because he kept me on the straight and narrow and made sure that I didn't mess up. Made sure I didn't drink, didn't do any drugs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody, and back then in my neighborhood, and as the most inner city neighborhoods back then in the 70s, everybody looked out for each other's family member.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if someone respected someone in your family, they knew, what are you doing here? You ain't supposed to be here. I'm going to tell your brother, I'm going to tell your mother. They said we was going to tell my brother. I'd be like, oh, God. I say, which one? They said, you know what we're going to tell. We're going to tell Mike.
Which one? I like that. Yeah, which one?
See, my other two brothers, I can negotiate with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You couldn't negotiate with Mike. There was no talking.
You're like, but there was some girls there.
He didn't care who was there.
Yeah.
There was no talking to him.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool that someone was like almost like I was going to say a guardian angel, but like kind of like a guardian angel. Like, in a sense, knew that you were like had this dream. And
all of his friends, as I got older, they were just as strict on me. I'd be out. I was 18 once. I was in a nightclub and I'm drinking soda, and one of my brother's friends walks over, grabs the soda and smells it. I'm like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Making sure you ain't drinking no liquor."
Wow.
I'm like, "I'm not drinking no liquor." He goes, "I'm just making sure, because if I'm telling your brother." I'm like, "Look, man, it's soda. Taste it."
Yeah.
But that's how it was in my neighborhood growing up back then.
That was good.
I mean, because everybody, in my neighborhood, whether it was me or anybody else, if you had potential, the old timers would be like, "Hey, man, get the hell off this block." That's how they were. They say, you don't belong out here. This is not the life that you should be living. You should be living a certain way. And everyone knew my dad as well. You know what I mean? Because my dad was a street guy. So everyone knew my dad. You know what I mean? But to believe it or not, I'd rather have dealt with my dad more than my brother. Because see, my dad, I can talk to him.
You're right.
Mike, you couldn't talk to Mike. There was no talking. If you messed up, you get beat up.
You had told me a story one time. We were talking about people commuting to the gym, and how sometimes people will make an excuse, like they'll be like, the gym, it's 10 minutes away, or there's a lot of traffic, I don't want to be stuck in traffic. But when it comes to boxing, like, people commute far, like they because they're doing it for a living. I remember I asked you one time like about your commute, like how long did it take you to get to the gym back in the day, and you told me a story.
It should take me 2.5 to 3 hours to get to the gym.
Oh my gosh.
I lived in Long Island. I had to take the Long Island Railroad to Manhattan, to Penn Station. When I got to Penn Station, I had to walk to the PAVS train, take the PAVS train from Manhattan to Hoboken, and then walk about 1.5 miles to the gym. Then they switched gyms and moved to Jersey City. So now they take the PAVS train from Manhattan to Jersey City, which is it's the next town over.
Yeah.
It don't seem far, but the walk was further from the PAVS station to Bafano's gym. It's like a 2-mile walk.
And it's not like California where it's like, it's 75 degrees every day.
No, I did that winter, spring, summer, fall. And I did it in blizzards. And one time I got stuck on the train. It was a 15-minute car ride from my house, but the snow was so bad. The train, it was not even a 5-minute train ride from the house. It was 2 stops, Brentwood, then Deer Park, then Wyandanch. But the snow was so bad, the train got stuck there. I was stuck there for 6 hours.
Oh, man. After you'd already worked out?
No, I didn't even get to the gym.
Oh, shit. And this is no cell phones.
No cell phones. So we went from Brentwood, Deer Park. We got the Wyandanch. They said, trains are not going any further. We're stuck here. So for 6 hours, I was stuck there. And the funny part of the story was, across the street from the Wyandanch train station was a strip bar. My cousin was the bouncer in the strip bar. He got stuck at the strip bar working, so I was going there using the phone, calling my mom.
Yeah.
to call the gym in Jersey, let them know I wasn't coming. And my trainer was like, why the hell would you get on the train in this blizzard? But, I felt, it was my job. I had to get to the gym. So, and my mom told me, you shot? I said, Mom, I'll be fine. But then my mother was like, how you going to get home? I said, wait till the train's going back the other way.
I'll just hang out at the
Then
strip
6
club.
hours later, the train went back to Brentwood. I got off the train, I walked home.
That'd be funny if you start training inside the strip club. Can I jump some rope or something over here?
I had to keep looking. Keep looking. I had to keep looking out the window to make
Yeah.
sure that the train didn't leave me.
That's funny because even today it's one of the hottest days. It's 115 degrees, and I come in and the place is full. There was still people working out in the boxing gym. There's no days off.
See, a day like today, say it's 100 degrees in New York.
Yeah.
Summertime, I'm going to Jersey. Now you're risking electrical fires on the train tracks. So you could get stuck on the train with no AC for like a half hour. So it's always something.
Dangerous in the ring and out of the ring.
Yes, but you know what though? It was a great experience for me because I understood that if you want something bad enough, you got to really work for it. No one's just going to give you anything.
Yeah.
And there was days that I used to have to take my son with me when he was like a year old, 2 years old. I was a single parent. So there was days my mother's like, I can't watch the baby today. So I had to put him in a stroller, put him on the train, and just go through the routine. So 6 hours of traveling with an infant was,
Wow. Dang. See, that's why you're so good. Because you're determined and you just,
Yeah.
like, I didn't do all this just to come here and,
There's nothing worse than being on a train and your baby takes a serious crap.
everyone's like, is that
Everybody's
boxer
like,
guy?
oh, you got to change that kid, man.
But you must have, they must have asked a million questions when they saw you with, like, the boxing gloves and the gear.
I met
like,
I got a lot of fans. I met a lot of friends on the train. Because every Friday, my trainer would make me take my boxing equipment home. Every Friday. He goes, take your headgear, your gloves. I'm like, why, Dominic? He says, because I said so. Take it home and bring it back Monday. But I met a lot of friends, a lot of fans.
You ever have drunk people that are, like, try to test you? Like,
Oh, you get guys that say, hit me with your best shot.
oh, shit.
I'd be like, nah. I would laugh at them, you know what I mean? Because back then on Long Island Railroad, they had cars, the bar car it was called. Where, people be buying alcohol on the train. But I used to sit in it. It was a smoking car. But I used to sit in it because we used to play cards. And I used to sit in it. It was a 2-hour ride. So I'm like, shit. I'm not going to sit in the car when nobody's doing nothing. I'm going to go where the excitement is.
Right.
So you go to the bar car where they're selling beer and wine. I didn't drink. But I sit there and play cards with everybody.
That's cool.
Right.
And they're like, come on, hit me with your best shot. Let me see if I
Yeah,
can take a
some
punch."
guys that get drunk and be like, put the glove on, hit me with your best shot. I think I can take it. But you laugh at them and be like, nah, I'm not going to hit you.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know what I found being at the boxing gym? Somebody had told me they were like, anybody can come off the street and they can learn how to throw a punch. They go, the hard part is not getting punched, right? That's
it's called the sweet science. The key is to hit and not get hit. But sometimes it doesn't work out that way.
I know when I see you guys hitting the mitts and you're like, that's so fast, like, ba, 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 1, 2, 1, 2, da, da, da. And I'm like, even that, you have to think about it. And it's like, do I duck? What if I duck and the guy's punching me? And I'm like, shit, And then sometimes, like, boxers will come in here and Gabe Rosado came in and he's really cool. He's been following, we follow each other online and he sees me and stuff and he's like, hey, come on, hold the mitts. And he's like trying to tell me, I know. And it's like my Rocky impression, but to me, he's kind of, I don't know, whatever. But and he's like trying to show me. He goes, all right, when you turn, you know what's coming up next, right? And I'm like, no. But then I guess boxers eventually, you kind of know, like if
It's like instincts, but sometimes you could be wrong.
yeah. I feel real comfortable.
That's when
Coach.
they say a guy got
Yeah.
caught bobbing when he should have been weaving.
Oh shit.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, he was, he was slipping when he should have been sliding. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly. Zig
Right.
and zagging. Wow. Okay. Let's. What I want to ask you about. So. The first fight was a draw, and then you went on. Bing, bing, bing. 28 wins, and that must have just. Was there a point where you're like, this feels really good. I'm pretty damn good. Like you must have. When did you start feeling like? I mean, because your second fight, your third fight, like, and then when did you get that confidence where you're like, I'm really good?
No one really got it after my first loss.
Oh, wow.
Believe it or not, after my first loss.
Wait, was that? I wrote it down. Let me think. Frankie Warren.
Yes. After my first loss, it was on NBC, and We fought in his hometown of Corpus Christi, Texas. And after the fight, everybody was upset, mom, brothers, everybody, girlfriend, you know what I mean? And I said, look, I'm going to walk back to the hotel. And everybody's like, what? It was like a mile walk. I said, I'm going to walk back to the hotel. And I walked back to the hotel. And when I got back to the hotel, I said to my manager, okay, when are we going to fight again? And he looked at me, he's like, what? I said, look, I'm putting this behind me. I realized that I came in here, and my first time being in someone else's backyard, and I lost this close decision. You know what I mean? So I know I'm going to be champion now. So let's move on. And then after that, I became a better fighter, mentally more than physically. And then I had the rematch with him a year and a half later for the championship. The first fight was just a 10-rounder. Second fight was a 15-rounder for the championship. Back in Corpus Christi again.
Wow.
It was a different ball game the second time. Tougher fight. I beat him. I stopped him in the 12th round. But I got to say, to this day, I still have nightmares about that guy. And that was 30 years ago.
Wow.
It was 30 years ago. And
Wow.
I still have nightmares about him.
Wow. And it was a tougher fight the second time.
Yes.
Even though
Toughest fight I've ever had.
Wow.
I mean, it was a fight where I mentally, after 6 or 7 rounds, you go into a zone, and that was on a Sunday. I came down maybe Wednesday.
Oh, the adrenaline rush.
I mean, you're just like, you're there, but you're not there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, everybody's around you laughing and joking. You're there, but your mind is just like, you can't explain it. But you're going. And then when you finally come down, then everything hits you, the fatigue. After the fight, I passed blood, for about an hour or two. I mean, my ears were swollen. My body was beat up really bad, and I won the fight. So you can imagine about him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was a lot of wear and tear, that fight.
Why do people pass blood?
Body shots.
Shit.
You know what I mean? So it was.
Oh man. See, that phrase. I'm hearing it a lot. Like you don't play boxing. Like
No, you don't play boxing.
You play basketball. You play football, but you don't play boxing.
No, you don't play boxing because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
they shouldn't even say play football because football's got it rough.
Yeah.
But boxing, man, you don't play boxing, man.
You play badminton. You play tennis.
Yes,
You play-
but not boxing, man.
Yeah.
It's you have to go through, and I think football. I have to say football players are pretty much in the same category. They used to be because now if a guy gets hurt, he can sit out the rest of the year. But I spent the day once with Jim Brown and Walter Payton, and they told me that they played hurt. You know what I mean? Jim Brown says, buddy, a guy tackles me. Guy, as I'm getting up, the guy's stepping on my fingers, and it's 10 below zero outside.
Shit. Oh wow. Yeah, you ever been cold and you just hit your hand on something? It's like,
can you imagine a 300-pound guy stepping on your hands with cleats? You know what I mean? I mean, those guys, they really, they didn't. I guess people didn't really realize that football players rough. They had it. Instead, they started coming up with the concussion thing. With all the concussions that they suffer. You know what I mean? And it's like, wow. You know what I mean? And then the injuries, I hung out with I became friends with a few NFL players in 1990. The last year Parcells coached the Giants. And I used to watch them train. I used to go watch them train on the weekends and talking to some of them, the injuries, and then see them after, like 5 years after, they could barely walk. It's like, shit. I mean, it's crazy, man. They're so, they're pretty much in the same league as fighters because they're banged up. Fighters they get banged up, man. And people don't realize it. They don't realize what the torture your body goes through. But it's not just a fight. People don't understand. You're in training camp. Say you got a big fight. You're in training camp for 6 weeks. So you're going through this every day, 6 days a week for 6 weeks. You're putting your body through this torture. Plus you're dieting. I mean, you're trying to lose weight. You're getting punched on every. See, when I box, we spar every day. Now it's 3 days a week or whatever. We spar every day. I mean, the least 5 times a week.
I saw a guy in here one time when they were done sparring, and he took the headgear off. And to me, I was probably it looked like his mouth was swollen a little bit.
Oh,
and
yes.
His nose. Like,
yes.
I was like,
this is where they get hurt at more
Yeah.
than any place. It's not just a fight, but it's here in the gym. And you're getting beat on every day. You're losing weight. You're getting banged up. Some days you come in, you don't feel like training, but you have to because you got to fight. I mean, your elbow hurts, your pinky hurt, your fingernail hurts, but you still got to go in there, and then you got sparring partners. Everyone's trying to kill you because they want to be in the position that you're in. So everybody wants to kick your butt.
And then they want to be like, he wasn't that good. He wasn't that good. Or whatever.
So you got to do that every day for 5-6 weeks. And now you got to go on the fight. You got to fight somebody who's trying to kill you, knock you dead. You know what I mean? Then you recoup for a few months and boom, you're back at it again.
What's that thing you said I heard you say one time? I love it. Something about, somebody, you got to hit them hard because when you hit them and they don't go down, they
do funny things standing up.
they do funny
You know what I mean?
things.
Sometimes you hit guys with your
Yeah.
best shot, they don't go nowhere. But you hope they do funny things standing up. You know what I mean? If not, then you have a serious problem.
I remember one time just somebody was over there by the bags and they were like, Darren, give me a nice left hook. I'm gonna practice that guard thing, when you pull your right. And he goes, I go, I'm not gonna go 100%. He's like, no, go 100. I go, let me. This is weird. Let me just kind of see. And I went about 50%, but I messed up though because I didn't turn it and it hit this part of my fingers. That shit hurts because people are like, they're tightening up and people don't understand. Like your defense can really be offense, right? Because when you strengthen up, it's like hitting a pole or a wall.
You can hit a guy on the elbow by accident.
Yeah.
And we mess up your hand.
Yeah.
So it's people don't realize what fighters go through.
Yeah. Man. That must have felt great though when you lost and then you came back in his hometown and you won.
Yes, it was the greatest feeling in the world. And my goal is to one day go back to Corpus Christi. Because the first place I had Whataburger.
That's the best. What do you like better, Whataburger or In-N-Out Burger?
In-N-Out.
Me too.
Well, I haven't had a Whataburger in 30 years, so
You haven't been back to Corpus Christi?
I haven't been back to Corpus Christi. No, I haven't.
Wow.
And the funny part was the fight was February 14th, Valentine's Day.
Oh, man.
When I won the title, it was like 10 below in New York, and they had like 2 feet of snow, 3 feet of snow. Corpus Christi was 90 degrees.
Wow. What a trip. And when you did, I want to talk to you about after boxing. So after boxing, what did you think was going to happen? Were you like lost? Were you like?
I was lost for a while.
Yeah.
Because you figure.
Can you hold the mic up just a little bit? Just like this, right there. Little phone call here. Could be a better podcast.
You're gonna in boxing. When you retire, when you've been at the top, and you've been on top of the world, and you've been a world champion. That's all you know.
Yeah.
And then when you retire, you're not doing it anymore. Then you ask yourself, what do you do now? And if you didn't make $10, $15, $20 million, or if you didn't, I'm not even going to say that. If you didn't put a lot of money away, what do you do now? I've done this my whole life. So when I retired, I was in Colorado Springs training for a fight. And I was running around a lake in Colorado Springs, and I stopped. And my friends were like, yo, what are you doing? I said, that's it, man. I quit.
Really?
This is, what are you talking about you quit? I said, look, man, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. They're like, and? I says, normally at this time I'm at breakfast. My road work is done. I'm at breakfast right now. Here it is 8 o'clock. I'm just starting my road work. It's time to quit now. But more importantly, what really happened was, before I left to go train, my wife was at the airport, and she's like, she told me I was being selfish. She goes, you're being selfish now. You shouldn't be fighting anymore. She wanted me to quit 2-3 years before. She goes, you're being selfish now. She goes, you're not thinking right. She goes, we have a family. She goes, you should not be fighting no more, but you're going to get hurt. I said, look, baby, we're going to get this one last fight. We're going to, if I win this, I can get one more big payday, and then I'm out.
Yeah.
And it was just on my mind when I was running that morning. Where I could just see her. It was her, my daughter, and my son at the airport. My son James and my daughter Chantel. They were at the airport, and I was running, and all I could picture was their face. You know what I mean? And I just stopped. I'm like, you know what? This is it. So my friends were like, you crazy? So when I got home, back to my apartment in Colorado, I called my wife up. I said, you know what, honey, you're right. I said, I'm coming home. And she's like, look, we'll figure it out.
She's like, I'm at the mall. Can you do one more fight?
She was at work, and she was like, we'll figure it out. She said, but please just come home. She goes, you shouldn't be fighting anymore. So the flight from Colorado to Newark, New Jersey was the longest flight of my life.
Wow.
Because you're flying home and you're saying to yourself, what am I going to do the rest of my life?
Yeah. Was your previous fight, was it a loss?
Yes.
Okay. I think I saw. Yeah.
So I'm saying to myself, okay, all the money I made is gone.
Wow.
You know what I mean? All the so-called friends I had are gone. What do I do with my life now? So that was a long-ass flight from Colorado to Newark. You know what I mean?
Long flight, emotional, and like, okay, now what?
But when I landed,
yeah.
I had somewhat of a plan. And then I got home, and my wife says, so what are we going to do? I says, I got to figure out, don't worry about it. I mean, she said, okay, I trust you. You know what I mean? And I says, I know what I got to do now. My main thing was to make sure my family had a roof over their head and make sure my wife had a car. All right? So I had at the time like 6 cars. You know what I mean? So I got rid of all the cars. I sold them all. Bought my wife a new car. And I had a motorcycle. So I says, I'll keep the motorcycle for myself. My wife has the car. She can take my daughter and my son to school. She can get back and forth to work. And I will figure the rest out. You know what I mean? Because I had a house. You know what I mean? And so I spoke to the lady who held the mortgage to my house. And she said to me, Mr. McGirt, she says, I'll tell you what, I'll make a deal with you. She says, the first year you're in that, for this next year, you don't have to pay the mortgage. She said, just pay the property tax. And you can stay in the house. So that gave me a year to really get my crap together. So I did that. From some of the money I got from selling some of the cars, I paid the property tax for the year. That was $5,000. So, but my mortgage was $1,000. So the lady saved me $12,000. You know what I mean? So then a year later, I got a job working for Don King. And then they moved me to Florida. And then when I got to Florida, it was a struggle at first because I didn't know anybody. But then I started training Antonio Tarver. Then I had Johnny Tapia, then Arturo. And then the champions started coming. After that,
forgive me if I'm a little bit familiar with some of those fighters, but let our listeners know. Like,
okay, Antonio Tarver
yeah.
was the first man to beat Roy Jones. Matter of fact, he didn't beat Roy Jones. He knocked Roy Jones. First man to knock Roy Jones out.
And that was the first guy you trained?
No, he was one of the guys I trained. I mean, but I trained him for I had Arturo Gatti. He had the trilogy with Mickey Ward. Johnny Tapia was the former 3-time champion. Johnny Tapia I trained. God bless him. Him and Arturo, they both dead now.
I saw that. I was reading about that.
Yeah. And then Tarver. And once Tarver knocked out Roy Jones, the floodgates opened.
Wow.
I mean, fighters were coming.
They're like, this guy is good. He was a good fighter and he's a good trainer.
So, they started coming in and it started working for me. So,
do people ever train? This is probably a silly question for anyone who knows boxing, but do people ever become a trainer that have never been a pro fighter or like an amateur fighter? Really?
You know what? This is the only sport where you get trainers that never fought a day in their life.
Wow. They just watch videos and hang out in gyms.
Exactly.
And learn. And they're,
where's Mo? I mean,
somebody just wandered in. But
talk to that lady right there.
Tell her Mo went to run an errand. She should be right back.
Okay, I'm sorry, Darren.
That's okay. We're at the boxing gym and it's starting to wind down. And it's just a few of us here. Your son, how many children do you have?
Me, myself,
Yes.
8. Me and my wife, 3.
That's awesome. A big ass house.
No, not in the same house. Not in the same household. Not in the
just-
same household.
I would love that. I mean, it's expensive though, but like
7 daughters. No, you don't like that. That's why I'm bald headed.
your
But me
daughters are-
and my wife have 3 daughters.
Yeah.
My son has always been with me. I mean, when I met my
Yeah.
wife, I already had my son.
Yeah.
I was a single parent, so
You said something to me once. It was funny because I tapped you on the shoulder and I go, "Man, you're still solid." Like, and do you remember what you said about the push-ups?
I said I do push-ups because my daughter's bring home a bad boyfriend. I got 3 minutes left in me, so I got to be able to kick his ass in 3 minutes. If not, I'm in trouble. Yeah. But me and my wife, we have 3 lovely daughters. Chantel.
See, that's why you're so funny, and it's like that's why. And another thing, you always have a funny, different answer. Because that day you told me you go something like I got some daughters and I got last 3 minutes. You go, if I hit them once, they don't go down.
You do funny things standing up.
Yeah, and you go, I hit them twice, they don't go down. And he goes, that still gives me 2 minutes to run for the cops.
Hey, man, you got to be ready. You got to be ready.
I remember one time I was hitting the bag, and I go, what do you think? You think I got it? Do I got it?
I said, you got what it takes to take what they got.
And then I asked you a month later, I go, hey, what do you think I got it? And you go, don't quit your day job. I go, what is my fighting style? And you said, praying mantis. Yeah. Man, with training camp, you were telling me about a place. I don't know if we want to say what it was, but there was a certain training camp, and you were saying how they really like almost nickel and dime the fighters, and like.
Well, you know what? Yeah. What they do is this, man. You know, and a lot of fighters, you know what they don't nickel. This is what happens.
Yeah, tell us.
Some of these guys go to these training camps.
Yeah.
And they let you know what you're gonna pay. It's written.
Yeah.
In black and white. But the fighters overlook it because they're making a lot of money.
Right.
So now they bring 10 people to training camp. So say if you're being charged $100 a day.
Okay.
And you bring 10 people.
So let's say I'm a fighter, and I'm going to go
to my training camp.
I'm going to go to Colorado Springs or whatever, or just anywhere.
And I have a training camp there. And I'm
Yeah.
going to charge you $100 a day per person in your camp.
So I'm bringing like my friends. And
you're bringing
shit
10
like that?
people, so that's $1,000 a day.
Wow.
You stay there for 6 weeks. Okay?
Yeah.
$1,000 a day for 6 weeks. So now you owe me a big chunk of change, but you fight, I don't take it out.
Mm-hmm.
I may take a little bit of it out. Then you come back again, you bring more people. But you still owe me now half from the 6 weeks now. Then you bail up again. You know what I mean? And then after a while, you say, you know what, buddy, I don't want to use your camp no more. I said, no problem, but here's your bill. Yeah, but hold it. I only took half. You still owe me this.
Wow.
It's your sign. It's your signature. Your signature's on it. You signed it. They got to pay the man. You got to pay me.
Why would someone bring a bunch of people to training camp?
Because they see what happens is when you're making millions of dollars, you think it's never going to end. But then one day,
it does. And you're lonely when you're on the road. Like as a comic, I know like I want people there.
Listen, the more people you got around you,
yeah,
the more lonely you are. Because a lot of them are there just for a security blanket. But at the end of the day, when the lights go out, you're in the room by yourself thinking about, shit, I got to get up tomorrow, run. I got to fight this guy in a few weeks. I got to do that. They're all outside having fun. Mm-hmm. They don't have to get up and run. They don't have to do nothing. But just stick around and say that they're a part of your team.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's just you. When you're out there running, it's just you. When you're in the ring sparring, it's just you. And when you get to the big fight, 20 guys might walk you to the ring. But when the bell rings, they take 3 steps down, you take 3 steps in. You're on your own. So these guys have these big entourages. That's all well and good. But when the bell rings, they can't help you no more. They can't help you. It's just you and that man on the other side of the ring. So, I mean, that's why I've learned to always be by myself. It never bothers me to be by myself. I don't mind. I can drive from here across country. I'd rather do it by myself if you want to know the truth. And that's my ultimate goal. I'm going to drive from here, from California to New York by myself.
Wow.
In a Jeep with no doors in the summertime.
Nice.
I mean,
you drove to Phoenix. You came and saw my comedy show in Phoenix.
Yes.
That was cool. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just, I don't mind being by myself. I mean, people, I love it. It don't bother
It's
me.
funny. It's like I'm the same way. It's like I like being with people, of course, my family and stuff. But when I'm on the road and I'm like, it's great because I can go to, I'm with my own thoughts. I can get creative. I can, put on my music in the hotel and kind of get into that zone of doing what I want to do. I like it. 'Cause, like, I'm not like, there comes a certain time, I think, with a person where you're like, I'd rather be by myself than just hanging out with people I really don't want to be around, just so I'm not, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, listen, my daughter's actually, you all right there? I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
I've been doing, my whole boxing career.
Yep.
I've always, no matter where I stayed, I've always had my own room. And I can stay in the room by myself, and I'll be happy.
Yep.
I mean, my brothers, I hit them, they come in making noise. I say, listen, I'm going to get you guys your own room. Because you're not coming in my room with that bullshit 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I mean, keep it quiet, and by myself, I'm good. When I used to run in the mornings, they run with me, but they ran behind me. Because I'd be in my own thoughts. I didn't want nobody running next to me, asking me questions. No. No.
Yeah.
I mean, leave me alone. You've been out, oh, man, we was out. I don't want to hear what you did last night.
Right.
If I don't ask you about it,
Yeah.
I mean, because I had a policy. If you came to training camp with me, if you couldn't run, you still got up at 5:30 in the morning.
I like that.
And you would stand outside
Yes.
till I finished running. But you was not going to lay in bed
Right.
and just chill while I was out running.
No
Then
way.
go eat breakfast, come back, lay down. Then go eat on me and sign it to my room. No. I get up at 5:30, you're getting up. But, buddy, I can't run. Good. Stand outside in the cold,
Yes.
smoke a cigarette.
That's right.
Drink hot chocolate, whatever,
That's how
until I get back.
That's kind of what headliners are like. As comics, we're like, we'll bring a friend, a feature. We're like, come on, we're doing radio in the morning, because you want them to. You're like, hey, we're gonna do it together. And in a way,
Right.
they're kind of helping you, and you guys are helping each other, because it's like, it's like that. Teamwork makes your dream work, and plus you're kind of like, dude, you're not just gonna lay around all day. Like, let's go do some radio, and then they'll get something out of it too, because
Yes.
they'll be like, what's it like to get up early and go be funny on the radio, and then,
I had when I fought for my second world title in Vegas, my brother's friends came and they're like, "Go, champ, we want to stay with you." I said, "Look, I'll pay for your room, but tomorrow at 5:30, I want to see you in the lobby. Buddy, I can't run. You don't have to run. You can walk up and down the strip until I'm done running. But if you want me to pay for your food and your room for the next month, this is what you're gonna do. If you don't want to do it, cool. Get your own room. I got no problem with that. Pay for your own food. I have no problem with that. But if you think I'm going to pay for it, you're out of your rabbit ass mind. It ain't happening. It's not happening.
I know. I think that's sometimes people want to be a part of, like, I want to help the boxer. I want to be like, when they see him on TV, like, like I was, like, in our minds, we're like, I was a small little sliver of a part of it, like,
Right.
So what can they do? Like, what could a person who wants to help a fighter, like, what can we do besides, because I always say, let me just stay out of the way, but maybe run.
Say that again?
Stay out of the way.
There you go.
Stay out of the way. Yeah.
That's it. I mean,
Yeah.
and fighters, they know who, like, when I was with Antonio Tarver, he would call me up and say, buddy, man, meet me downstairs. I'd go downstairs, and he'd have 20 people with him. And he's like, come on, let's go. And I could be at the back of the crowd. He'd be like, buddy, where you at? I'm like, I'm right here. And he said, okay. But, and everybody like, why did he call you down here? He just wanted me there. I mean, I'm like, Antonio, buddy, nah, you got to be down there with me. He just wanted me there. No problem. I got no problem with that. You know what I mean, because 9 times out of 10, the majority of other people are there to see what they can get. I mean, the old man once told me, when the band is playing, everyone's dancing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
I mean, then
I got a question for that. Like, what's it like for you or for any boxer, like that loss, that, because like you said, like, when going into the fight, we see all the posters up, and or people they follow them online, and then
I'm gonna answer that in a different way.
Okay.
When you retire, and there's people are leeching off you. Everybody's around, see what they can get from being with the champ. I mean, I had a guy hang around me one time, and for like about a week, and every time I looked up, this guy was, wherever I was, he was there. So I said to one day, I said, can I ask you a question? He's like, yeah. I says, who the hell are you? I said, every time I get out of a limo, you there. Who are you? Because I'm your security. You're my security. He said, yeah. Who hired you? He said, your brother. I said, my brother paying you? So long story short now, a month later, I get a call from a car dealership. Asked me, do I know this guy? I'm like, I never heard of him. He said, well, buddy, he said he worked for you he did bodyguard work for you. Excuse me. I know the guy from a can of paint. I said, but if that's going to help him get the job, let him get the job.
Oh.
But now, story gets better. When I retire from boxing, I was trying to get a car for my sister. So I called him. I said, look, I got him a job. One hand washes the other. Both hands wash the face. I called him up. He said I wasn't fighting no more. I wasn't champ no more. He wouldn't take my call.
Wow.
Right? But okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Now, 2002, I got the Trainer of the Year award by the Boxing Writers Association. Same guy calls me up. Hey, buddy, how you been, champ? Click.
That must have felt good.
It felt great.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
Who's
You know what
this?
I mean?
Oh,
So,
yeah, hey,
you
click.
get those people, man,
That's awesome.
And it's sad to say, but it's the truth, that everybody wants to stick around. Everybody loves a winner. I mean, but you know, when the shit gets thick and it gets dark, people start bailing out. I've been through it as a fighter, as a trainer. I mean, when I first started as a trainer, it wasn't good at first. You know what I mean? But then when it started picking up, you know, the same people who I would call, say in 2000, if I called some people in 2000, 2001, they say, "Yo, buddy, I'll call you back." They wouldn't call me back. 2002, 2003, they're calling me. I said, "You remember when you put me on hold 2 years ago?" I said, "I'm going to put you on hold for a couple more years."
Nice.
Boom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, people tend to think that everybody forgets. I mean.
My manager told me, he goes, because sometimes with certain clubs or whatever that I play or I want to play, they'll be like, yeah, you're not, you know, and they're thinking in their mind, they're like, you know, I want to be nice to Darren, you know, and there's a bunch of us comics like that where they want to be friendly, but like they want, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, you're not hot right now. We need someone that's on TV that's going to sell these tickets. So they sort of still are nice. Some of them aren't. Some of them just won't even return an email or a call. And my manager was like, when things do get hot again, like, he goes, he tells me, he says, the trick is to not be bitter towards these people because, you know, because it can happen. But at the same time, it's like what you just said. Like,
it's a funny story.
Yeah.
I didn't train a guy. I fought a guy in 1991. I fought this guy, Frank Montgomery. 1992, I brought him to training camp to be a sparring partner. Then I took him with me to Italy to be a sparring partner. When I was fighting in Italy, he went with me. 1992 was the last time I heard from him. He did an interview a month ago on YouTube. I was the first fighter he mentioned.
wow.
They said, "You fought this guy?" He goes, No. He goes, "I fought Buddy McGirt, but Buddy McGirt took me away to camp and treated me like family." And we went to camp. When he was in camp with me, I had to go to a dinner. I had to wear a tuxedo. I got him a tuxedo.
Really?
See, my thing was if I'm in camp and I go to any event, if the people that's with me can't go, I'm not going. Sparring partners, you know, whoever. I don't like to use the word sparring partner. I like to say guys that are boxing, that are helping me. I don't like to use the word sparring. I don't like it for some reason. But
How come you don't like it?
I think when you say sparring partner, to me, it's like downgrading the fighter.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I like to use the word guys I'm working with or guys that are working with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I like using that.
Sparring partner could be like, oh,
Right.
here's the guy that I get to beat up and
But
practice.
I would always, if I had to say, buddy, but it's a black tie affair. Okay, well then make room for us because we need 4 more black ties coming, so we need 4 more tickets. And whoever was with me, I always looked out for. You know what I mean? And my manager like, well, he can't go. If he can't go, I can't go. This guy's helping me get ready to defend my title. So he's family to me. So if he can't go, I can't go. Then they will always find a way. So you're going to tell me in this big-ass dinner in the Waldorf Astoria, you can't find 1 more extra chair? And they're like, you're right, buddy. I said, thank you. You know what I mean? So that's how I've always been that way. You know what I mean? But you learn. I learned, you know what I mean, when I retired, I learned big time when I retired. I mean, that was like the ultimate wake-up call. I mean, I learned, you know, oh, buddy, I didn't change. I just see things differently now. And you can say I changed, but I just see things different. I see you feel a crap at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like I said, you know, when the band is playing, everybody's dancing. When the tune gets old, they look for another band to dance to. I mean, another band to dance to. Sorry about that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
they're looking for, like right now, they're looking for certain band. Oh, I like this guy, that guy.
yes.
Would you, here's a question that
They're looking for Cardi B, ain't that right? They got it right, girls?
Cardi B. yeah. You know what? She has some catchy stuff. I was like, what is that? They're like, I was like, that's pretty catchy.
I mean, listen, my daughters listen. I don't know what they be playing in the car today, right?
I know. It's funny. I went back and revisited stuff that I sort of didn't. I kind of, because growing up, I liked a lot of 80. You know, I grew up in the 80s. I like 80s music, and that was back when like hip hop was like new, and I was like, this is great, the best thing ever. And then I kind of missed a lot of stuff like the deeper cuts on like Bruce Springsteen. So I've been going back and listening to like Bruce, and I'm like, man, these are some real good lyrics and stories. You know, did you ever get into rock music at all?
Nah, not really.
What did you train to? What kind of music did you like to train to?
Depending on the mood I was in.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on. But believe it or not, a lot of gyms you couldn't play music.
Really?
Oh, hell no, man. Oh, we had an old guy, Don Bufano. Now, you know Rocky It's based on Chuck Wepner. They got Chuck Wepner. Mick, that's his name, Mick?
Yeah, Mickey. Yeah.
He's playing Don Buffano from Jersey
Wow.
City.
Okay.
And Don Buffano, God bless him, was 1 in a million. I mean, he was old. He had an old gym. And Dom, I loved him. God bless him. I loved Dom. Because he didn't take no crap. If you came in his gym and you rubbed him the wrong way, he'd curse you out and throw you out. He didn't give a damn who you was. He wore a cardigan sweater, whether it was 100 degrees outside or 20 below. And he had his eye, he had like a messed up eye.
Yeah.
And he had his glasses. He was about 4 foot tall, but he talked like he was 12 foot tall.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? His favorite word was shit, and more shit. That's what he always said. He was an old Italian guy. He go, Buddy McGirt, shit, and more shit. That's what's going on around here. But you couldn't play music in Dom's gym. No. Women were not allowed in Dom's gym. Unless you was the male lady, you couldn't come in there. Female reporter?
Nope. Girlfriends? Nope.
No,
None of
Dom, nah.
Female fighters? Nope. They
No.
didn't even have that back
There was no
then.
female fighters then. There was one. Her name was Jackie Tonawanda. But nobody was going to mess with Jackie. I mean, God bless her. Jackie, nobody's messing with Jackie.
Yeah.
She got in the gym. Nobody messed with Jackie Tonawanda.
Wow. I want to wrap up a little bit. I know you gotta go.
Right.
Just one thing. What's it like going from that back locker room, walking down that hall to that stadium when you're
The longest walk in the world. You seem like you're never going to get there, but you get there. And then reality sets in. It's like, okay, we're here at the big dance now. Now, everybody handles it different.
Yeah.
Like myself, I'd sleep in the dressing room until it was time to go.
Did you need coffee to like wake
No,
up?
no. I fall asleep and say, wake me up 10 minutes before we leaving so I can loosen up. But I go to sleep.
Oh my-
Because, you get people come in the dress room. How you feeling?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Oh, fine.
How you feeling? No, I feel like shit. What do you mean, how do I feel?
I know. I'm about to fight this dude.
Are
He's
you
trying-
ready? No, I'm just here just to be here.
Yeah.
I mean,
I saw Floyd Mayweather one time when he was hitting the heavy bag, and as he was hitting it, they had a guy counting with a stopwatch,
Yeah.
or, like, a little clicker, tick, 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 and then the fans were going like, you got this, and he was like trying to like, no. He kind of like he was like, don't try to. I don't need no cheerleader. I self motivate.
yeah, exactly,
You know?
exactly. Chilling ain't gonna help you when the bell rings.
Right.
I mean, so it's all in here, baby.
When you see a guy like Mayweather, would you ever imagine like fighting him? Like, what would it be like if I was,
I never think about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, different eras. But I think that he is one of the few guys that could have fought in any era. He could have fought in any era. I will give him that credit. I mean,
pretty cool.
he would have fought. He could have fought in any era.
Any words of wisdom before we go?
To anybody that wants to fight a boxer,
Yeah.
whether it's professionally or just like to work out. I mean, remember this: keep your hands up, your chin down, and your ass off the ground, and you'll be okay.
Buddy, it was a pleasure, man. I'd love to have you back sometime. You're the best. Thank you
Thanks,
very
man.
much for doing
My pleasure.
it. Thank you.
Thanks,
And
Dan.
we're shaking hands.
All right,
Yes.
man.
Cool. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Thank you, John. I am. I don't know. I don't know if I'm like Dan Rather, Dave Letterman, or
What is this on?
this is it's called the Pocket Party Podcast. I'm gonna put it on iTunes, YouTube. It'll be everywhere.
Would there be a link on your Instagram page?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
We'll show you how to get to it. The Pocket Party Podcast.
Yes. Because I'm Darren
Hi,
Carter,
hi.
the party starter.
Darren Carter.
Party starter.
Dr. Benjamin got light.
Another fun episode, man. That was so cool. I was on cloud 9 when I left the gym. I was like, this is amazing. This is all coming together. The podcast, learning how to do it, how to edit, how to add sound, how to interview people, how to talk to interesting people, who to talk to. And it kind of goes in with what I like to do. I like to stay motivated, and if I find something that can motivate you guys, I'll throw it in there. And if there's something I've learned, I'm like, let me share this. And wow, you guys are so cool, man. Thanks for being at the party in our pocket, and we'll be back next week. Like I said, if you know someone that wants to cover our theme song, have them send it into pocketpartypodcast@gmail.com. Every comment, every review on iTunes is appreciated, and I will give you a shout out And that was dope, man. Let's have a great week. Thank you guys so much. You guys rock.
Everybody listen to Darren Carter. We all know he's the party starter. So if you want to listen to a podcast for free, then listen to The Pocket Party.